Well, hello, and I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to review another one of our, what we think are fantastic articles. Although this article that one of the things I want to share with you is something a little different than the technical aspect of the foreclosures and the foreclosure processes in North Carolina. And I just really wanted to talk to you about and prepare you and help you to know that some of the things and emotions and things that you're feeling are they're normal, but really how to handle them and what they are, how to identify them. So I just wanted to share a little bit about, how foreclosure it really doesn't just affect your bank account and your credit score. It also affects like every part of your life. It reaches into your family relationships, your own personal self-esteem. It can disturb your sleep and it can even have a real impact on your physical health. So many people, they feel shame, fear, helplessness in this situation, and these are emotions are you got to realize they are real. It's common for homeowners to feel sad and angry and even isolated, like when foreclosure sort of looms over you. The pressure can lead to decisions that really can create more problems instead of helping. So you'd be not be human if you didn't if you're in foreclosure and you didn't feel these emotions, but your response to them is what will make a huge impact on the outcome of your present foreclosure situation. So understanding these emotions and the pitfalls that can be caused in the is the first step of protecting yourself and your loved ones from some, you know, help you get through this difficult time. So you know, common emotional experiences during foreclosure, it's really a good practice, whether the emotions are stirred by foreclosure or really any other life event, is to sort of call them out for what they are. And many times they say, "Hey, name the emotion for what it is." Identifying will help you to experience this emotion. Um, by doing this, instead of allowing your emotions to sort of be the driver in your life, it causes you to sort of pause and to decide if you can trust those emotions as your driver. And let me tell you right now, you cannot trust your emotions. Uh, so it's good to get I believe that God gave us emotions, okay? But I don't believe He gave us emotions to be the driving force in our life. They really are alert flags. They're warning signs. They're things to help you to know, hey, it's time to change an action or take corrective action. Yes, in a brief moment, responding and giving into your emotions, it does somehow give you a relief of even that might make you feel like you're back in control some. But they don't, once you yield over to them, the more space that you give them in your mind and your reactions, the harder it is to take control back. So the best thing is to call it out for what it is. I'm feeling angry. I'm mad about this. And then to say that moment right there is a pivotal moment in your mindset. So I'm going to fix this thing. I'm going to figure out how to fix this thing. I'm going to get the help that I need. So some of those emotions that you might feel would be things like shame and sort of like a social stigma. Many homeowners blame themselves for losing their home, even if it's a cause outside of their control, like a job loss or an unexpected illness or a economic turndown. There's so many factors outside that can be the cause of your situation. So, fear of being judged by others can lead people to pull back, to hide their situation from those people who would want to be there to help them, like your friends and your family, and maybe even your neighbors. So, the secrecy that often results when you get that isolation. Uh, it makes the whole experience feel even lonelier, and that's not what you need at this time. Some people avoid reaching out for help or information because they won't want others to what they're concerned about what others might think. Shame and worry about what others think, it can really keep you trapped and make it harder to ask for support that you really need and deserve, right? There's other also this the feeling of depression or hopelessness. That's pretty common over feeling, and they're sort of overwhelmed with sadness, and it's understandable. It is a scary time, you know. So many are going to struggle with this persistent sadness that just really doesn't let you get up back on your feet again, even when you could be having a good moment in your life. It won't allow you to enjoy it, right? Trouble getting out of bed, or you're just feeling too tired in your daily life. You sort of lose interest in the hobbies and the things that you actually have enjoyed in the past. It's a thief. You have trouble concentrating, making decisions, and remembering things. Man, you need to call that out. Don't yield to that. These feelings are just simply signs uh, um, of weakness or failure. They're not a sign of weakness or failure. They're that's what they're trying to make you think that you are. Their normal reaction is to deeply, this is a normal reaction to deeply stressful experiences. So if sadness is lingering and it feels so heavy, it's important to reach out for help. Depression during foreclosure is common, but help is available to you. There's anxiety and feeling of being totally overwhelmed. Foreclosure comes with a constant sense of the unknown. It's a territory that, and this is one of the reasons why we really, really want to help people early on in their stage of uh, when foreclosure happens, because there's more than one way to handle it, and there's every every way to handle it. It doesn't fit every situation, but you don't know those things, and that's really where our years of experience helping homeowners, we have boiled it down to five options, five ways to handle it that is best, and we can help to diagnose and figure out which is the best solution for you with no pressure at all. The process can be confusing, especially when it's foreign to you. So you're going to get legal letters arriving. You're going to be filled with words that don't make sense to you. Every envelope or phone call can really spike your heart rate. You know how that feels, right? Fear about where your family might live or how you're going to uh, get by in this situation. You're going to worry about protecting your kids from the stress, keeping life on track and feeling sort of normal for them. The mountain of paperwork and deadlines can be paralyzing, and the anxiety builds up and it leaves you feeling completely stuck and unable to see a path forward. The cycle of fear and confusion makes it really hard to act. Even when you know what steps you ought to take, many freeze and wait, just hoping the thing will somehow go away and disappear. And unfortunately, it doesn't. And I can't tell you how many people I see falling prey to this, and I feel for them because I understand how difficult it is to sort of get up and move again, but you have to do it. Then there's these emotions of anger and bitterness and resentment. They can sometimes really, really, really be devastating. It takes many different targets. You can be angry at the lender for not maybe working with you or feeling enough, sort of acting coldly with their standards of that they insist on complying with, being inflexible. It could come out to be your spouse or partners or family members for maybe a decision that sort of brought your family into the situation. Nobody's perfect, right? Uh, you could be mad at yourself for not seeing it coming sooner and taking action earlier. Maybe spending some money on something that you realize now that if you had that, you wouldn't be in the situation. Uh, you could just be mad at the government. You could be mad at the system. You could be mad because the economy turned down. Whatever it is, it's anger and it's frustration. It's one of those emotions. It happens. It comes up. Some days the anger boils over and it leads to arguments and snapping at your loved ones, and other days it just sort of simmers down there in silent resentment. These feelings are all completely normal parts of dealing with loss and disappointment. Anger during foreclosure is it's not just common; it's sort of expected. So what matters is how you handle it and where you direct your energy. Recognizing these emotions is a step towards managing them. Now, there's some pitfalls. All these emotions that can come along, there's pitfalls that can be triggered, that they can trigger. When emotions are high during foreclosure, it's easy for logic to take the back seat. The overwhelming stress can cloud your judgment. It can make making manageable problems feel like impossible, and even the smallest task can seem insurmountable. This emotional fog often seems it causes homeowners to make costly mistakes, uh, both in practical decisions and in personal relationships. They can really deepen the crisis in your life. So what you want to do is the pressure of foreclosure can bring up powerful feelings of fear and feeling of being overwhelmed, and you might feel like you're drowning in paperwork or frozen at the thought of talking to another person about the situation. And as a result, avoidance creeps in. You start ignoring the mail, ignoring those official notices, hoping the problem just goes away. You start skipping court dates or missing appointments with advisors. You delay the difficult situations with your lender and even your family members, uh, failing to return phone calls or emails uh, from those offering help. It's None of those things are good. And these choices, they might often give you the brief relief again because you just ignore the problem and put it behind you. It's like sort of like putting your head in the water to block out the sound. But the longer that you wait, the more options that disappear. So missed deadlines can result in faster foreclosure, lost opportunities for modifications, extra legal fees, and a decline, even a further decline in your credit than you already have. Taking even the small steps is better than doing nothing at all. Foreclosure stress rarely stays contained to just the bills or the bank statements. It can seep into your family life, adding friction and conflict. Short tempers, snapping at loved ones over the small things, blaming or sharing, uh, uh, or shaming each other for the financial trouble, withdrawal or emotional distance, making everyone feel alone and uncomfortable. Children picking up on that tension. You've seen it. Children act out. They mirror what they sense in the home. Your home, it should be a place of safety. But during foreclosure, it can become a center of arguments and silent tension. The bonds can fray. The family members may feel isolated or pushed away, even when they're most needed. So you know what? Honest conversations, asking for help, seeking counsel can protect your relationships during this hard time. Now, strong feelings like anger, despair, and frustration sometimes they lead to really rash actions that make things even worse. Things like homeowners sometimes they throw up their hands and says, "Take it from me, bank. I just give it back to you. Walk away from your house and just let the bank take over and without exploring the other options." And there are good options. I am a true believer nobody has to get foreclosed on. Damaging the property if you get foreclosed on, there are homeowners that just get mad and they do a bunch of damage to the property, thinking that's going to be getting back at the lender and refusing to cooperate with the whole process. You're just missing out on government programs and aids and people that can really help you. You're lashing out at the lenders and advisors who could actually be trying to help. Yes, it's frustrating working with your lender, but losing your temper and becoming angry at them doesn't work. It doesn't put them in a position to want to go the extra mile for you. So all these like snap decisions, they may feel satisfying once again in the moment, but they limit your future choices and they can even lead to legal issues. So sabotaging the property can mean losing more money or facing a lawsuit. So that's the last thing you need right now. Walking away, uh, uh, that often destroys the chances of saving your credit or recovering at all financially. Take the time to pause and breathe before acting. That can protect your long-term interests, and no matter how strong the urge is to react. Emotional distress can act like blinders. They just narrow your vision, and they push you into damaging patterns. Understanding these risks helps to steer clear of a lot of costly mistakes that can keep your options open for you can keep your options for better solutions. While it's normal to want to power through on your own, true strength, it often comes from reaching out and developing new strategies to cope. Building emotional resilience during a foreclosure means really connecting with others, accepting help, and finding daily habits to keep you steady in a sea of really what's sort of uncertainty time in your life. So you want to seek some support. Reach out and connect with people. No one should have to face foreclosure alone. Turning to others can really lighten your load, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. And support can come in all different forms and different places. You've got friends, and you certainly have family, and it could be in the form of neighbors or whatever. But you know what? You need to share your fears, your worries, your frustrations. You want to speak honestly with the people that care about you. Many times, I've had this happen and seen it happen many times. Is those friends and family, if you don't engage with them in a time of, it's so offensive to them. They love you. They want to be there for you. So don't let pride and shame, the lie of shame, stop you from engaging with your family members that love you and your friends. There's churches, faith groups, whatever your faith is. There's neighborhoods. There's community networks. They may not be able to give you legal advice or tell you all the intricacies of the foreclosure process, but you know what? They can check in on you. They might offer your family a meals to bring meals over or look after the kids when you have to go to a court hearing. Uh, so don't delay in reaching out to those structures that are there to help you. And you should asking for help is it takes courage and it shows wisdom. It's strong relationships are buffered. They buffer against depression and hopelessness. Sharing your experience, yeah, it may feel risky, but it breaks the cycle of shame and isolation. Let others care for you. Human connection builds hope during these hard times. And you know what? Uh, some support needs to come from people who are trained to help you through this crisis. There's professional help. It's not. It doesn't just offer comfort. It unlocks smart advice and a sense of control back to you. Now, if it's emotional help you're needing, there's mental health professionals, therapists, and counselors. Don't be ashamed to reach out to them. There's also housing counselors and real estate professionals, such as ourselves. Uh, we're intimately familiar with the process of the foreclosure process. Understand all the options that you can use to get the process stopped or ended. And we know if you need more time, we can assist you with getting extensions of time with the with the lender. Many of the we don't charge. Many of them are free. I know there's government counselors, financial counselors that can help you with foreclosures also. There's also legal aid. So sometimes foreclosures brings some complicated legal issues. If you can't pay for an attorney, there's free legal aid available for you. So, when stress just feels endless and the simple daily habits, um, they will help you feel human again. Small steps, uh, they won't ease the pain, but they put you back into the driver's seat. So you want to do a few things here. You want to like create a daily routine, even if it feels chaotic and sticking to to regular sleep, meals, and simple tasks, it really helps by adding a predictability and sort of a calm expectation of what your day will bring. You know what? You want to exercise because exercise relieves stress and it helps your sleep and your mood. So this can be a light walk or stretching or workout, but it's really important in times of stress that you can burn off some of that energy that's building up inside. Another thing that I found really helpful, even in non-crisis times, is just like keeping a journal. There's something magical about writing your thoughts and we're writing out what your plans are and writing out what your options are. So write down what your worries and your hopes and your thoughts are each day. It will help you to sort of get it out and to relieve some of that emotional pressure that you have. You want to spend time outdoors. You know that the sunlight it's amazing. Vitamin D does wonders for your mental health and it lifts your spirits. So, and you know what? We have so much in the media, the news, on the internet that is predominantly negative and is just seeds of hopelessness. So I would really encourage you to take a break from it. Um, get off your phone all the time. Uh, do things for yourself that can help you to get reestablished and get in control. Don't spend time listening to the news and all that. Healthy habits, they may seem small, but during the foreclosure, they're really a lifeline. So each positive action creates a sense of order and control. And even when your world is sort of upside down, emotional resilience, it doesn't mean that you stop feeling sad, you're angry or afraid. It just simply means that you're building the tools and connections that can help you help keep going anyway. So let me just say, foreclosure really hits hard. It's emotional and practically, but you don't have to carry this pain by yourself. These strong emotions, they're normal, yet you can steer your own choices to make a recovery. Um, you don't have to give in to the emotions. It will only make things worse. So you want to take care of your mental health. You want to reach out for support and make small steps forward every day to help break the cycle of being frozen in inaction. Inaction is and lack of knowledge and inaction is the two things that I see that are the nails in the coffin if you're in foreclosure. You just cannot go there. Get involved with your church. Get in community groups. Find caring professionals. Create a daily routine. All this will help offer hope and stability. So I want to thank you for the time of listening or reading this. And I know it's not technical as far as foreclosure, but you just need to know that there's a way to get through all this emotional stuff that you're feeling. So now, if you feel ready, I want you to reach out. I want you to feel free to reach out to us. We want to help you. We're experts in the area of foreclosures, and we're not just trying to buy your home for the cheapest price. We truly want to help you retain your home. It breaks our heart when we see people just because of lack of knowledge or inaction uh, or fear that we're not sincere in our efforts and end up losing their home. It just doesn't make sense. So we want to be here to help you. Our website is www.foreclosuresolutionsnc.com. And like I said, reach out through the website and we'll be right on your side to help you through the whole process. Thanks so much for tuning in today. And we look forward to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.